But yeah, has weakened just a little bit here, Rick, since it made landfall. It made landfall just northwest of Cedar Key, Florida, with 80-mile-per-hour winds. Now the winds have come down to 75. Still a hurricane nonetheless. And you can see on this loop how the eye wall did make landfall in the Big Bend region of Florida just before 7 o'clock this morning. As we zoom back out, you can see where the rain is already impacting Florida and Georgia, and that will continue to be the case throughout the course of your day-to-day. So here's the latest forecast track. Debby will basically track through North Florida as a tropical storm throughout the rest of the day today. Then tonight, going into Tuesday, as a tropical storm, Debby will be tracking through southeast Georgia. By Tuesday afternoon, Debby will reemerge in the Atlantic Ocean and then curve back north and hit the Carolinas as we go into Thursday and Friday. So Debby is a storm that we're going to have to deal with for the rest of the week, starting in Florida and Georgia, then eventually headed toward the Carolinas. We will see minimal impacts from Debby, and the first impact we're already seeing, which is cloud cover. Mostly cloudy over the city of Atlanta. Your current temperature is 75 degrees. If you're still getting the kiddos out to school, middle school, for example, no rain to worry about this morning. In fact, the only real difference is just the clouds. Otherwise, it's a pretty typical summer morning. Here's a look at our high-resolution forecast model. The clouds are really already here, and the clouds will continue to increase throughout the day today because of Debby, especially if you're south and east of metro Atlanta. So if you are in far northwest Georgia, you're actually going to see a mostly sunny day. In metro Atlanta, it'll be partly cloudy later on this afternoon. And if you're further south and east, Edenton, Athens, you'll probably be cloudy the entire day today because you're closer to Debby. The other thing I want to point out is at 4 o'clock this afternoon, you can see some of these little green specks that are popping up. Believe it or not, these are the outer bands of Debby. So we do have a 20% chance of a shower or two in your forecast. It's not really much, but if you do see that shower, it is because of the outer bands from Debby. And as you can see, going into tomorrow, we're going to stay just outside the range of Debby. So we'll continue to see the clouds, but our rain chances won't really increase too much at all, as that will stay south and east of metro Atlanta. The other factor will be the wind. And on this map, your legend is at the upper left-hand side of the screen. What you see in yellow is a 20-mile-per-hour wind gust. What's in orange is a 39-mile-per-hour wind gust, which is a tropical storm. And what you see in red is a hurricane wind gust, which is 74 miles per hour. We're seeing tropical storm wind gusts in Florida and South Georgia already. But what I want to point your attention to is that yellow, which indicates a 20-mile-per-hour wind gust in metro Atlanta later on this afternoon. So for perspective, this isn't even strong enough for a wind advisory, but it is higher than normal. So you will notice a bit of a breeze out there today. Again, that is because of Debby. And then by sunset, those winds will start to relax and we'll get back to normal later on this evening. We'll keep a 20% chance of an isolated shower in your forecast basically for the rest of the week because of the outer rain bands from Debby. Our highs will stay in the upper 80s to low 90s. And as we bring in First Alert meteorologist Courtney Jacobazi, our impacts are pretty minimal, but you are showing a tropical storm warning right now for South Georgia. Unbelievable.
Right. Only a couple hundred miles to our south and east. It's crazy what just a few hours of a drive can make such a big difference. So tropical storm warning in effect for areas as far east as Lawrence County, Georgia. That includes the Dublin area, but from Jacksonville all the way up to Charleston, of course, including coastal Georgia under that tropical storm warning. And it's really not the wind from the tropical storm that's going to be the biggest issue. It's going to be the rain. They already started to get some of those outer rain bands this morning, taking you 24 hours in advance. Still dealing with those heavy tropical downpours. It's not until about Wednesday that rain will finally start to relax. So they are expecting over 1.5 feet of rain in places like Savannah. So the potential for historic flooding there. On top of the inland flooding, we also have the coastal storm surge that could really impact the coastal areas and the barrier islands here. Essentially, the ocean goes inland. That's what storm surge is. So that is a concern for the coast. These rainfall totals we haven't seen in coastal Georgia since Hurricane Matthew in 2016, which completely flooded the streets in the area. And I do expect to see that in the coming days, which Cutter Martin will actually bring to you live throughout the week and through the day today.